the truth is, you won't become an authority by being perfect or knowing all or having everything in place and like being, this perfect version of yourself. Becoming an authority comes from a very different place, and you will land with people so much better, and they will trust you so much better when you are drawing your feeling of on authority of being an expert from a different place. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the She Who Leads podcast. I'm Daniela Varga, your intuitive soul business coach, and I'm here to help you build the best business of your life that is built around your purpose, built around your soul pull, and that is here to create a true transformation in people's lives and give you fulfillment and fun and freedom and prosperity along the way. So, what I want to talk about today is a topic that came up in a conversation with a friend I had recently. And it was about, we were talking about business and the perception of how we feel like we are perceived and what it takes to be an authority. And she has been struggling with that for a long time. Not struggling, but like that was something on her plate for a while now. And I see that that is something that kind of gets people discouraged, especially spiritual people who want to help, who want to create change, who want to make the world a better place, but I also want to be taken seriously. And there is this disconnect I feel with entrepreneurship and being taken seriously. Like we have this belief, we kind of have this conditioning that for to be able to be taken seriously, you need to be like this professional, this all the way perfect and knowing everything and having everything under your finger, having everything figured out, and that will kind of make people see like, oh, this is someone who I want to work with. And I'm laughing because that is so not true, first of all. And I will explain why. But what this does, and I think that's the saddest part of this whole thing, is what this does is actually making our relationship with our business just so freaking toxic. Like there's just no really other word for it, because our business becomes this like screwed up mirror where we look into every single day, and what we are only seeing is the things that we don't know yet, is the things that are not working the way we think they should work, the things that we are not good enough in, the things that we cannot help people with. Like it really is highlighting and magnifying all of the flaws or the perceived flaws and mistakes that we are still feeling like we're making with the business. And because we are laser focused on that, it is hijacking our belief in ourselves so much. So if you think about this, like when we have this belief of, oh, okay, I have to be this like super responsible and professional and put together entrepreneur to be successful, like that is a very unrealistic high bar that you're setting yourself. And you kind of expect that this will lend you the clients, that this will get you the success that you want, but it's actually doing the exact opposite, because it is hijacking your confidence, your self-esteem, your self-trust every single day because of what told you, because what it's highlighting. And you won't feel like the expert. You will, and all of what you were doing, every single business stuff that you are doing will turn into you trying to prove to yourself that you are actually the expert that you are posing as. And that will actually flare up your imposter syndrome. So, this whole thing that we do of like, oh, I have to be an expert to be taken seriously, the only thing that it does, it's actually taking away your self esteem and flaring up your imposter syndrome. Not fun. Not fun, if you ask me. And this again is it's nothing more than our misconception about what authority is, what being an authority in your field is, what being an entrepreneur is, and what kind of people need to take yourself seriously, take you seriously. And um, I will tell you what I experienced and what I see, that is not making you an expert, and it's not making you the authority of your field, and will never make you the authority of your field, and actually is not required to be an authority in the field that you are in. The one is like you being perfect, because nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. And actually, people don't like perfect people because it makes them feel uneasy. It makes them feel bad about themselves. It makes them feel like they are not good enough. And no one wants to work with someone who makes them feel that way. So you kind of feeling like you have to be perfect and trying to be perfect for the outside world is actually driving people away, because it's just not realistic. And when I say being perfect, I mean it in a way that usually people mean it, like, oh, I don't have any flaws. I do everything the right way all the time. I don't make any mistakes, like those kind of perfect. Because there's a different definition for perfect, which I love. But that type of perfect of, oh, like everything is always going the way I imagined it to be. It's just not it's not existing. That's the word I was looking for. The next thing that won't help you become an authority is you being someone who figured everything out. That was something that came up in this conversation with this friend, and like she basically told me she kind of had this pressure on herself all the time of she kind of has to show up like she has everything figured out, and on the inside she just doesn't feel like that. Like she doesn't really feel like she has everything figured out, because again, that's such an unrealistic expectation, because there's just no way you have everything figured out, because whenever you figure out something, there's a new level opening up for you where you instantly will feel like, oh my god, but there's so much other stuff that I didn't figure out so far. So it's just this constant feeling of, solving things and obstacles coming in our way, and challenges. Like that's the constant way of life. So there's not really a state where you feel like, oh, I have everything figured out. There could be like part of your business or parts of what you are teaching and helping people with where you feel like, oh, I kind of figured this part out pretty well and I understand it like thoroughly. But there still will be missing pieces. You will learn along the way, and maybe in 10 years you will think about that thing differently, and that's okay. It doesn't make you less of an expert. It doesn't take away your ability to help people right now just because you feel like you don't have everything figured out, right? And also, an expert is not someone, an authority is not someone who knows everything. So, you striving for knowing everything, well, that's a good thing. I will tell you that curiosity, wanting to know everything, it's good. When you tie that, oh, I cannot help people until I know everything, that's no good. That will never get you any clients, because no one knows everything. No one. Like, to know everything, you need to be source. and and that's the end goal, but that's the end goal for like thousands and thousands of lifetime, like not for one lifetime. And when you like really let yourself just be you, and I will get into what actually I believe creates authority, like puts you in this place of authority in the field and what you are doing. It is kind of tying back to being you and understanding who you are, accepting who you are, how you are built, and starting to use that and helping people through that. Not trying to be someone else, not trying to be perfect, not trying to show that you have everything put together and everything, figured out, because that's not what people want. People, yes, people want solutions. People want shifts in their lives, but they don't want perfection, because what I said. And anytime someone says, if you just think about it, anytime someone says that, oh, I actually have everything figured out, that always feels fishy, because in our core, we know like that's just not true. That cannot be true. If you truly, truly, truly believe that, if someone truly believes that, that means that they are ignorant for a lot of things on that area. They kind of stopped the growth process. They stopped thinking like, oh, okay, I have everything figured out with this field, so I know everything, I can help anyone. And that kind of implies that they may don't know as much as they believe. They stopped the growth process, they stopped exploring, they stopped trying and testing and failing, which will mean that by, I won't even say 5 years, by a year, they will be so behind on all the new learnings that came to surface until that point, right? So on the contrary, on the opposite side of this, what I feel like makes people an authority, and what I see in people searching for and looking for when they are wanting to work with people, is very different things. So first of all, I really want you to like let this sink in. Yes, people want solutions. We established that. But when people are looking for experts, they are actually not choosing based on their knowledge or based on their I don't know, tool sets or whatever. Yes, that is kind of in the mix, but at the end, people are emotional beings and people make emotional decisions. So what will determine who they choose is coming from the, I will say, personality. I will say the connection that they make with this person. And that is coming from your creator field, your beliefs, your thoughts, like basically who you are and who you believe yourself to be and what that radiates out to the world. They are subconsciously choosing based on those things that you believe yourself to be true about. And also they kind of pick people based on personality, like meaning that if I don't know, if someone, I like someone or I don't like someone, I like how they talk, I like how they explain things, it is clicking for me how they explain things. I like their style and I like to be more like them. That's also something that people not consciously but consider when they are picking mentors and coaches and healers and helpers. So one thing I believe makes an authority is someone who knows the mistakes that can be made in a specific thing. So this could mean like knowing the mistakes because they made the mistakes themselves, right? Like that, I think that is one of the key components of becoming an authority of, I actually went through this, I actually made the mistakes myself, or I had someone around me and I was really, really observant and I watched these people like hawks and saw all the mistakes that they made. And I kind of tried figured out that for myself how not to make those mistakes. But I will tell you, the best way to move past mistakes is making them yourself and then learning from them. And I would much rather learn from someone who like messed up a lot of the times until they found a solution that really works than working with someone who got lucky and found the solution for the first time. Because when that solution is not working for me, then the person, the true authority who went through the mistakes and went through the whole process, will have the ability, will have the mastery over that thing to help me figure out why this solution is not working for me and how can it work for me. What can we tweak? What can we change that so I can actually have the same benefits as she had. The other person who quote unquote got lucky on the first try and got the solution, they will be like, well, it worked for me, so I don't know, maybe it's on you that it's not working for you. I'm not saying anyone will tell you that, but like this kind of could be what happens, right? Of like, oh, like, well, it worked for me, it worked for like a bunch of other people, like, that's it doesn't work for you. And that's not really a good thing to experience, right? Because that just adds to our feeling of, oh my god, there's something bad broken with me, I cannot be fixed ever again, which is not true. Like, first of all, nothing is broken within you, nothing is wrong with you. Different solutions work for different people, but again, someone who went through the mistakes, someone who figured out, okay, this way isn't working, that way isn't working, that other way isn't working, will have such an immense knowledge and mastery over that skill set. That person will have such an immense experience and mastery over that skill set that they are helping you with, that they will be able to figure out how that could work for you. And it can be anything, like just let's think about, let's go just to a writing coach. So someone who actually made like a lot of mistakes with writing and really learned to overcome those mistakes, like maybe they weren't able to phrase things right, or the vocabulary wasn't good enough, or maybe they wrote in these huge, I don't know, circular sentences and needed to figure out how to, motivate themselves to write and all those things. Like, they made a lot of mistakes, then they figured out how to come over those. They will have an extremely good tool set of helping people become writers. Now, as compared to someone who just like naturally knows how to write good, they are not as aware of this skill set. They're not as good at explaining why things work and why things don't. So your growth is so much. Your growth will be so much better supported by the person who actually went through the mistakes. That's what actually makes him the authority of a writer of this field, not just because, well, someone also can be an authority, but like teaching writing is very different than writing, right? So remember that if you made mistakes and if you overcome those mistakes and learn from them, you're already an authority in a lot of different things. Another thing that I find that I feel like makes people an authority, who has created some kind of a shift. So basically, you had an obstacle and you alchemized it into a solution. You had some pain and you alchemized it into lessons. So any shift that you already created in your life is actually something that other people struggle with. And that is something that you can build a business on. That is something that you can put into the business. That is like something that is super valuable. Any lesson that you learned along the way, any skill set that you developed while you were moving past those obstacles is gold, and people would want to have that. And the disconnect with that we usually have is that, oh, but who would want that? Who would pay for that? And I will tell you, I did a whole episode on this a couple weeks back. I'm not really sure of the uh, name of the episode. Maybe I will find it and put it in the show notes, or it's something that is coming up. I'm not sure. Like, we have this disconnect of the transformation that we are create because we don't find it useful. We don't find it really life changing. Yeah, it's an upcoming episode, so I look out for that. But what makes someone an authority is, someone who walked the walk. And again, not in a perfect way, but I took steps, I figured stuff out, I realized how things work, and because I did that, I can now help people achieve the same or something very similar, because I have real life experience and you have so much real life experience. Again, look out for the episode that is coming on that. If you feel like, oh my God, but I don't have anything to teach to people, anything to help people with, that episode will help you a lot. But I just want you to focus on that type of shift that you created in your own life. Like, what is that you changed in your life compared to a year before, or like a month before, or 5 years before? The time frame can shift. It actually, you should shift it. Just like really look in on your life and see, okay, how did I change my life? Oh my God, that makes me an authority in, I don't know, saving money because I saved up money, right? Like that kind of makes you an authority in saving up money, right? Because you had no money and now you have money and you did some kind of steps to get there. So that's something that you can help people with, right? And that kind of gets me to my third point of what makes people an authority and an expert, and someone people wants to learn from and work with, is sharing that transformation. Like, you could sit on the most brilliant knowledge and experience as you that you have. If you're not sharing that, specifically that, then you won't become the authority that you could be. Like, going back again to this friend, like, she is such an amazing, like she has so many amazing skill sets. She is so good with, getting things done and actually motivating people, and just like really, um like, she basically has like 10 jobs in the same time. Like, she does so much and still finds the time to prioritize her business and finds time to um, fitness. And she's a mom, she has a family, she goes to family events, she grows herself. Like, she's just right now doing like 3 different courses at the same time. And um and that's crazy, like that's amazing. And she does a lot of the things to get her there and to keep her moving, but because it's kind of who she is, she dismisses that and not really communicates that, not really shares that with people. When And because of, there's again that this there's again this disconnect of, oh, I'm not someone who people look up to because I have nothing to help them with, nothing to teach them. And we have this had this discussion of me kind of telling her like that these are all the things that you could teach people and help people with. And she was like amazed, like, oh my God, she never really thought about that. Like, even people would be interested in that. Like, I'm like, oh, yeah, obviously they would be interested in that. They would be like, just imagine, people would be interested in, okay, how can I stay consistent, how can I really stay consistent in my business while also doing all these other things of the side. And then not feeling like I have to give up anything in my life that I want, or finding the time, or making it work, or like that's something that is super super valuable. But again, we are so set on, oh, okay, but the transformation has to be this, the transformation has to be that, it has to be a money goal, it has to be like a specific way success looks like. And when you let that go, and then you look into, okay, how am I creating transformation for myself, and then start to share that, people will come to you. The people who need exactly the same transformation in their life right now will find you and come to you, because that's what you are meant to help with them right now. That's what you are, an authority right now. And again, it will change as time shifts, as you gain more knowledge, as you gain more experience, as you master your skills. It will change how you, what type of authority you are, how you are an expert, and how people see you. It is changing constantly, but it doesn't mean that you are not an authority right now. In a way, you are. You're just not really seeing that, because you're looking at it in, from a more conditioned way, that and less of a soul aligned way, like less from how your soul and your core self would look at yourself, and more from the conditioning that you kind of took on. So that was my take on being an authority. What I like you to do is just like think through, where do you feel like in your business that you have to be perfect, you have to have everything figured out to be taken seriously? Like, where is that? How is that present? Because I promise you it is. You're just maybe not aware of it. And I also want you to kind of go in and, okay, how does that feeling actually uh, determines my actions throughout my business? Like, do I post a specific topic because I feel like I have to talk about this stuff, because I have to feel like I need to show people that I have stuff figured out? Do I maybe over deliver on stuff? Do I maybe feel like I have to give more, so I am taking more seriously? It can be a lot of different things. Just I want you to get clear as much as you can on, okay, how is this dictating my business right now? And when you see that, okay, how am I actually right now, like, what are the things right now I am an authority in? What are the mistakes I got out of the way? What are the transformation I created in my life? How are those all valuable to people and tying together? And how can I start to share those more in my business? Maybe you start to talk about them in your podcast. Maybe you I don't know, just test out a few topics that feels more like you, and feels more like, oh, actually, that feels like something I feel secure about talking from about. Yeah, I feel secure in talking about. Oh my god, the language today. Just really try to understand your relationship with authority and being an authority, and what you kind of expect yourself, and is that realistic, and what can you expect that is actually realistic and helping you be more confident and be more trusting with yourself. And that will naturally put you on this place, first for yourself, and then for everyone else, of, oh, okay, this is the expert, this is the authority I want to go to, because she's actually helping me with the exact thing that I need help with. That's the whole point, to get to that place of feeling like, oh my god, I'm helping people with this and they exactly need this. And that's true. There's so many things that you're helping people with, you're maybe just like dismissing them. And again, that will be a topic for an upcoming podcast episode, of why we do that and how you can spot that. But I promise you, when you start to see all the shifts that you created and apply that to the business, everything will change. Your relationship with the business, your relationship with your clients, how many clients will come to you. So it is a process, but it's so worth it. So if you need help with your business, if you want to help with this specific topic, if you want help with the block that you have with your business, you are maybe feeling um, like depleted in the business, you're not loving it, you have issues with clients or not getting to the next level, you can book a clarity session with me, which is basically a free coaching session that you get. And we look into like what is the block, what can get you to the next step. I love to give out tools, so expect that. And yeah, link in the show notes, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.